Yo, what's up, guys? I got a different video for y'all today. I got a comment on an old video of mine by Tiago Hexture, which says, "Hey, good video, buddy. I would disagree only with 4 DKs. I would go with 3." This is in reference to a raid comp video that I put out. He said he would go 1 blood, 1 frost, 1 unholy, but it's okay. I would like to watch a video about a raid setup for specific challenging content like Immortal, Sartharian 3D, Death's Demise, Tribute to Immortality, and Lich King Heroic. For example, I always see a warrior in a Death's Demise setup. Why? Is he there only for buffs, or does he have some specific role there that makes the fight easier? I have a lot of questions about these contents. Um, like how many warlocks you need to bring to kill Yogg-Saron, best tank to take Anub ads. And retail a couple years ago, we used a warrior with avoidance gear via block. I don't know if that's the best strategy today. Why people bring so many paladins to Lich King Heroic? It's normal to see 6 paladins on Lich King Heroic. Why? Also, why is DK so strong on Sartharian 3 Drakes? It would be nice content to cover all those things. So, I'm going to be here today to answer as many questions as I can from Tiago's comment. I actually think this is a great idea and a good. This could be like a regular type of thing that I do. If you guys post comments below with questions that you might have for me, I think I can just do like a video where I answer, 3 to 6 questions a week and try to post these videos out there for y'all just as like an information dump. I think that would be really fun exchange for both of us as a viewer and as a content creator. So let's do that. I'm going to try to answer some of these questions from Tiago. The ones I won't be touching on are maybe like raid comps. I think that's going to be a little bit too much going into every single one that he's asking about. But I will be answering a few questions from Tiago. So let's jump right into it. First two is how many warlocks do you want to bring for Yogg-Saron, and why bring a warrior to Death's Demise, aka Yogg-Saron? Realm First, Yogg-Saron is also called Death's Demise. It comes with its own title, with called Death's Demise, and it's an achievement. It just means you participated in the Realm First defeat of Yogg-Saron without any assistance of any keepers in the 25-player mode. Now, we are approaching this from a private server lens. I'm not going back and looking at any 10-year-old, 12-year-old content of a Realm First back on original Wrath, because the reason being that's going to be a different patch than what we will get for Classic Wrath. We are going with the current patch that we know that we will get with Classic Wrath, which is 335. So those class balancing things could be vastly different than they were back 10 years ago. Not only that, like theory crafting and knowledge of the classes and a meta has been formed. So we're going at this with strictly private server experience, and we're going to use that to judge, to answer all these questions, especially regarding Yogg-Saron. Now, first of all, let's answer the how many warlocks for Yogg-Saron, and let's look at some history that we have with private servers and Yogg-Saron. So, first off, we got a screenshot of DPS All Stars and their roster when they got Yogg-Saron on Warmane Frostmourne. I believe this was season 1, could have been season 2. I'm so sorry for not knowing that off the top of my head and not being able to get that for you, but this is from Warmane Frostmourne. DPS All Stars, they went with 8 warlocks here. 8 warlocks. Pretty balanced comp, and they had 1 warrior here. 1 warrior, 8 warlocks. Another one is going to be Top Notch Gang from Sunwell Frosthold. Got a lot of good friends in here. I love this roster. Some good memories with some guys in here, even though I was never in this current iteration of Top Notch Gang. They are running 6 warlocks. 6, okay? But also they're running 0 warriors. And just want to note 0 warriors, since Tiago was saying that he was seeing warriors often in a Death's Demise setup. He could have been referring to maybe like old Death's Demises. So let's look at another. This is Avalanche from Whitemane Mograine, a more recent one. They went with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 warlocks and 1 DPS warrior. So if you're going to ask me how many warlocks do you think you should take for Yogg-Saron, I mean, according to like some recent history from really good guilds that obtained Death's Demise, which again is only the Realm First Yogg-Saron, not just any Yogg-Saron, just the Realm First one. It looks like warlock stacking is pretty OP, and I would recommend anywhere from 6 to 8. History tells us like that's going to be really good. And why are warlocks so good? Why do you really want a warlock on Yogg-Saron anyway? Well, one, like their damage is just incredible. They're one of the best, if not the best, DPS at this current moment in Old War. They're really, really good, but they're really, really good on phase 3. And phase 3 is a big, big part of obtaining Yogg-Saron, is mastering and owning Yogg-Saron on phase 3. And phase 3 is a full execute moment. Not only that, warlocks are executing while not taking any DPS loss at all whatsoever from the lunatic gaze. So whenever Yogg does his gaze on you, you have to turn around your character physically and not face the boss. Now, if you're doing that, a lot of classes can't DPS, for example, but a warlock can absolutely do all of their damage rotation without facing the boss, so that they're just really, really good for Yogg-Saron. So I would say 6 to 8. I would take 6 to 8 warlocks for that. Now, the other question was, why bring a warrior to Death's Demise? Now, this last roster that we just looked at, this is, was it this last roster? Yes, yes. This last roster that we just looked at, this is their DPS meter at the end of the kill on Death's Demise. They ran with 20 DPS, 3 heals, and 2 tanks. And why bring a warrior to Death's Demise? This warrior isn't even showing up in the top 17 at the end of the fight. What's missing? The bottom 3 DPS are going to be Fury Warrior, Boomy, and Elisham. We're all bottom DPS for overall damage done on that kill. So they're pretty low on overall DPS. Just for this one example. Just for this one. Now, actually, allow me for once ever in my YouTube career to defend Warriors for a moment, because I do think Warriors are actually pretty decent on Yogg-Saron. Reason being because there are 2 big DPS checks for Yogg-Saron, and one we've already talked about is phase 3, burning the boss before you get overrun with ads, and it's a big execute phase, which actually Warriors great for execute. And 2, the other DPS check is the brain phase. Now you send mostly melee into the brain room to go kill some tentacles. After you kill all those tentacles, then the boss brain becomes vulnerable, and you go in there and you nuke the brain. And that requires a big DPS check in order for you to push the boss into the last phase without getting too many brain phases, or you're just gonna go boss will enrage, or you're just not gonna have the damage to complete Yogg-Saron if you don't get it enough. So one reason why I really like Warriors for that is, one, they're really mobile. They have charges and intervenes to get around in the brain room really well. They're going to do really good quick damage on those tentacles and kill them pretty quickly, and won't have much of a DPS loss from changing targets. They do good cleave, but that brain phase, they bring to the raid your Shattering Throw, and Shattering Throw is going to reduce the armor on that target for 20% for 10 seconds, which it is a 5-minute cooldown, which is why you're going to want to use this on your absolute best damaging brain room phase possible. So Warriors are pretty decent for Yogg-Saron, despite all the trash that I talk about Warriors. They're pretty decent for that reason. Now, you again, like overall, they're going to do pretty low damage. They're just not in a good place during Old War. They're scaling up, they're catching up, and they're going to be okay in Old War. But they are one of the lower DPS, and so I wouldn't take more than one. But Warriors are pretty decent for that. Let's go on to the next question. Best block tank for Anub in TOGC. The 2 block tank options are going to be Prot Paladin, Prot Warrior. And to me, it's not even close. I am going with Prot Warrior. They're both good options. They really are. You've got to have one anyway. Some guilds run 2. You can either run 1 or 2. They're both going to be great. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. Ultimately, a Prot Paladin will probably have a better time with the snap threat of picking up the ads. Meanwhile, a Warrior will have a better sustained threat throughout the fight for holding threat on the ads while everyone is cleaving and DPSing them. What I really like about Warrior is they bring this talent called Damage Shield. And this is like the #1 reason why I would pick a Warrior tank over a Prot Paladin. It's very minimal. Like, this is not a big deal. They're both going to be totally fine. But Damage Shield is actually insane. It's so insane. We had a Prot Warrior in one of my guilds a year, maybe 2 years ago, who was block tanking on a noob, and his DPS was actually incredible. His overall DPS at the end of the fight was better than some of our DPS. As a tank, he was doing more damage than some of our DPS. It's incredible, and it's all because of Damage Shield. And I tried to find a clip of where he was ending up because we don't have logs anymore, and I couldn't find a clip where I could show you where he is ending up on the DPS meters, which is hilarious. But I do have a really funny clip of just him block tanking, and just watch this and enjoy it with me for a moment.
As we possibly can.
Look at this. I mean, like, I just love this. I love it so much. I can't tell you how much I love it.
Might be a little off.
God, that's the most satisfying thing in the world, and he's blocking so much. His damage shield is doing so much damage in this moment. He's able to hold really good threat because of it, and actually he's pumping. It's too bad that his damage meter in this clip is not capturing the whole thing for us. I would love to see where he's actually ending up, but Warriors just do a really good amount of damage on TOGC for block tanking, so I love them for that. And we're going to do one more question. Why are DKs so good on Sartharian 3D? And so this goes for both Unholy and Frost, and both reasons are kind of greedy reasons anyway. But here they are. Starting off with Unholy, you can glyph into Glyph of Death and Decay, and it's going to typically be a single target DPS increase for you. So if you glyph into Death and Decay, you're going to be using that while you're on Sartharian 3D. So you're just going to be padding some absurd numbers on all the ads that are available. On top of that, Wandering Plague in general is going to be a normal portion of your damage profile and part of your normal DPS rotation for the most part. And Wandering Plague is a single target DPS increase. Now, basically what it does is when your diseases damage an enemy, there's a chance equal to your melee critical strike chance that they will cause 100% additional damage to the target and all enemies within 8 yards. So basically, you apply your diseases to a target, and if you hit Pestilence, you can spread Wandering Plague across all enemies around you. And as long as Wandering Plague is continuing to pop on all these ads that are around you, it's a single target DPS increase. So Unholy DKs gain a lot from spreading their diseases, and it's a ton of pad damage. They will like literally be so high on the meters, but it's mostly pad. But I can't fault them for doing it. I do it all the time on my DK. And then similarly with a Frost DK, they're always going to be running Glyph of Disease, which means that using Pestilence to refresh the disease duration on their main target is just going to just spread diseases to all the ads around them. On top of that, when you're playing a Frost CK, and you get a Killing Machine proc with all those ads around you, you know that they're going to use that Killing Machine proc on a Howling Blast and get a permanent crit on 50 mobs or however many whelps and little fire elemental ads you have up at the time. They are going to absolutely blast them, and they will definitely be padding for that reason. On top of the pad that they're getting just naturally from their DPS rotation of hitting Pestilence on the boss and spreading diseases just in a natural way. Those are two main reasons why DKs are just going to be super, super high up. It's just natural cleave, honestly. It's natural cleave. It's a little bit of natural padding, but that's basically it. And that's it for this week's episode of Classic Wrath Questions with Rugs. I hope you guys like this. If you like it, please just throw me a comment down below telling me that you like it. That positive feedback will make me make another episode like this. If you have questions, comment down below. I will never be making these videos if I don't get questions asked at me. So ask me questions. If it's something super, super big, I might just have to make a single video about it. But if there's smaller questions like this, I'm happy to go into it with a one big video and just kind of use you guys y'all's comments as a motivation and as content for this. So I love you all. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna sign off here and post this and hope that you all enjoy. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.